Crafters, today I have a layering vinyl tutorial for you. Super simple to do, but something that seems a little intimidating when you have multiple layers and colors to work with. So we're gonna do this today on my daughter's bike. It came with this little tab that you can personalize. So we're gonna go ahead and cut out all of our vinyl, all the colors that we want, and then I'm gonna hop on over to the actual layering side of the tutorial right now. Let me know in the comments, have you tried layering vinyl before or any tips and tricks that work really great for you? Us crafters want to share advice. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to layer your images. So I have all of my colors and layers cut out, and the next step is to weed it out. So you're going to make sure they're all weeded. I really love using my mat for this type of project because it's kind of like having an extra set of hands that just holds everything down. So I'm going to go ahead, weed all of this out, and then I'll come back when all of my layers are weeded and ready to go. And I'm saying this word over and over, and if you have no idea what weeding is, it's actually just removing the negative part of your image that you don't want and then keeping the parts on there that you do want. So essentially the parts that your Cricut machine is cutting out and you don't need, I'm using my little weeding pin pen. You can also use a weeding pick, and I'm just going ahead and popping all of these little pieces out, but this can be time consuming, so I'll just fast forward and see you in a second when this is all done. Alrighty, so it is all weeded and ready to go, and there are a couple different ways to layer your vinyl project, so I am going to show you one of those ways today. I'm realizing this is slightly crooked. We might have to fix this little line after the fact, but whatever. Okay. So either you can build it directly on your blank, whether it's a mug, I could build it directly on here. So you would start at the bottom layer, so the black one, and I would build my way up. And I like to go ahead and check on Cricut Design Space to kind of see how the layers are, to know which one goes at the bottom and which one goes at the top. Now the way that I like to do it is I like to go from the top, make my way down, because sometimes when you go to add another layer on here, your transfer tape can actually hook onto the previous layer and start peeling it all up, and it can get super messy really quickly, especially when you're a messy crafter like myself. So I'm going to start from the very top layer, which looks like it is going to be pink. We're gonna start there and then see what happens. So I'm gonna take my transfer tape, and with this type of project, I like to use a transfer tape that has a pretty good grip because I don't want it moving all over the place as I am transferring it all around, but I also don't want it to be too sticky that I can't pull it up. So first I'm gonna stick it on my pant leg to make it a little less sticky. It's a little trick for you. It just makes it a little easier to work with. Put it on there about 3 times. Okay, I'm going to get my squeegee. We're going to go pink. This, you don't want it too crazy stuck on there yet, just enough that it peels up but that we can still work with it. So I'm gonna pop off the bottom, flip it over, do a little rub, and then I'm gonna peel it up backwards, and this is how you're going to get it to stick on there. If it's not peeling up, just push it back down, stick it, and then peel it up again. Okay, so we have our first piece. Now I need to be careful because as I'm sticking the next piece, I don't want it to get stuck on here either. That will get it all messed up. So I'm going to kind of overlay this on top. Hey, what's happening? Why is the bubble book? Oh dear. Okay, we're gonna put the bubble gum over here because it is peeling up. It's okay, accidents happen. So we're just gonna go like this. We're gonna add it onto here because it is being very difficult, and we're just gonna go from there, okay? Peel it up. We're losing some of the letters, but it's fine. We can go back in later. I didn't anticipate for this, therefore my transfer tape is a little small, but we can just add it later. The top of the eye is gonna stick to my mat now, which is really lovely. Okay. Sticky, sticky. There we go, okay. We'll get the little dot for our eye after. So make sure that your blank is clean. You can use an alcohol wipe if you want to make sure it's really good. And I'm going to place this. I like to kind of fold it, bend it like this, kind of like a U, an upside down U. And place the middle first. So that's the part I'm gonna push down first, and then you push outwards, okay? So you kind of slowly go, do the text, and then you can use your squeegee to get out any of the air bubbles. Okay. So like I said, we're gonna build from the bottom up, taking a couple layers at a time. Depending what image you're doing, it doesn't really matter which layer goes next, I guess. It kind of just depends how you created your design. So for me, I made it so that the black is the background, but also the offset of some of the other pieces. So for me, that one's going to be the back. And then I kind of hollowed out some pieces, as you can see here, for the white, so that I didn't have to cut as much vinyl out. Okay, so you can kind of use your weeding pick to manipulate the layers as well, if needed. Oh my goodness, I'm just losing pieces every way. But it's easy to move around. Okay. The eye is gonna bug me if it's not a little lower, so we're gonna make it the tiniest bit lower. Okay, that'll do for now. So we need to get the next layer. Let's see if we can get the face. That one's kind of important. Now, I haven't done this kind of project in so long, as you can probably tell. Usually I would probably just make a little sticker with my printer, but I know not all of us have printers. In fact, when I started out, I didn't have a printer for a very long time, and whenever a video was like, oh great, we're gonna use a printer, which I just messed that up, but whatever. I was thinking, well, I guess I can't do this project, but yes, you can, okay? As much as it is easier to use the printer and make some type of printable vinyl project, you can absolutely still use vinyl to create your layered cut files. This is great for kids' projects. When I'm making things for my kids, I love to do these types of projects, because a lot of their little characters and stuff have a few basic colors, so it's really easy to do that. And of course, they love seeing their favorite characters on things, right? Okay, so we're gonna do the same process again. Like I said, we're creating multiple different layers, so we're gonna line this up best we can. And because I put these little squares that you can see, I was able to line up the squares and find exactly where I had her face. And we're gonna remove the squares at the end, so don't worry if you're wondering why that's there. Then I'm gonna put on this part that came up. Just gonna stick it on my weeding pick so I can kind of manipulate it a little bit as I'm sticking it down. Perfect. Okay, next we have her hair, which we're just gonna go ahead, grab that, flip it over. Hopefully this one isn't too tricky. I actually probably should have done her overalls first, but that's okay. We're gonna line up the squares again, you can see. Her headband is a little offset because it did pull up when I was cutting it and weeding it, but it's fine. It's honestly not that big of a deal. It's for a baby, so I'm pretty sure she's not going to judge me. And if she does, well, that is a pretty interesting baby. Fine, when you pull up your transfer tape like this, it doesn't come off. I suggest popping off the entire thing with the sheet and pulling the backing away. Makes it so much easier. And see, one little piece came off. I'm just gonna push it back down with my finger and pull it up and I just keep going until it sticks on there. There we go. Oh, we lost our little square, but that's okay. We can work with it. Perfect, that lines up great. Oh my gosh, this is looking so good. I almost had all of the colors I needed as well. Once I started doing this project, I realized I did not have brown for her hair, and I had to run to Michael's to get brown. But besides that, I had all the other colors that I needed, which is kind of cool because they're really random. We'll see if he's successful. Okay, cool. So that's all on there. We're gonna get our bubble gum that we put over here. I really hope this project turns out good because, okay, I'm gonna take this like this. Oh, hello. Oh no, that's definitely not done right. This is what I get for trying to use less vinyl and just cutting out the background instead of actually adding white. You know what? I think we're just gonna go with it, because otherwise if I mess with this too much, it's just going to not work. So that's good. Okay, we got her bubble. And then lastly, we have this. As you can see, it can be a lot of little working parts to get a layered image, but the more you do it, the more practice, the more often you do it, you kind of get used to how it works and little tips and tricks to use for it. If you have any tips and tricks for layering vinyl, let us know in the comments. Like I said, I haven't done it in so long because I just find it easier to go ahead and use my printer. Oh my goodness. I need better transfer tape because this one is now not sticky enough, probably because I stuck it on my jeans 3 times rather than just once. And I don't really want to do each letter one by one. So let's peel this up. Okay, apparently it is peeling up on the rest. Just not on that one letter. Okay, that's good. Let's hope. Oh, okay, we lost another letter. If you want to see how I actually created each layer from the SVG and set it up to cut out on my Cricut, directly on Cricut Design Space, let me know and I can just do a video on how I do that as well. It is kind of playing around with the contour feature on Cricut Design Space and a couple other features they have, like offset, slice, welds, things like that, unite. I feel like it took me a few years to learn all of those features, plus they add them all the time on Cricut Design Space here and there, right? So you have to relearn them every time. But yeah, if you want a video on how to do that and how I did that, let me know and I'd be happy to show you how I did it. This is so cute. It's done. Okay, and then now we're just gonna take off these little squares that we have on there. Really easy, it just pops off. You saw how easy that just was. And there we go. We have our little layered sign. Let me give you an up close so you can see the layers that we created. How adorable is that? It's time to go put this on the bike and I'll show you the finished product. What tutorial do you want to see next? Bye for now. Happy crafting.